from Nashville, Tennessee. It's the Three. And here's your host, Laura Harris-Smith.
Hi, everybody. I'm Laura Harris-Smith, and welcome to The Three. This is a very special edition of The Three, and I want to ask you a question. Is depression a part of your story or your family's story? The statistics are staggering for how many Americans, really people all over the world, are not only depressed, but clinically depressed and on antidepressants. I heard a report just this morning that the amount of teenagers in our country who are on antidepressants has increased by 1,400%. That's by over 1,000%. And it just let me know how timely this episode is, because we're going to be talking with someone today who knows that journey, who knows that story, and who is compassionate and in the ministry of helping people find their way out of depression, but also who is an amazing creative artist. In fact, when I first met her, it was to interview her on my show 2 years ago at the National Religious Broadcasters Convention. And I first met her as an artist. She is an author. She is a painter. She is a musician. There's nothing that this woman does not do. And I loved having her on the show. She was the former Mrs. Massachusetts. And so there was so much. We filled up the whole show just talking about this thing and that thing. And then she contacts me afterwards, after finding out I was a naturopathic doctor. And we went to a whole new level in our relationship as she just opened up about some of the things that were really set against her by the enemy through depression that were then affecting her whole body. So I'm excited to talk to her today because of where she's been, because of where she is now, and because of who she is. So please welcome with me, Kim Gentry Meyer. Welcome to you, Kim. We're so glad that you're here. Welcome back to The Three.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
It is a pleasure. It would be a pleasure to have you back, even if we were just talking about your new book. And I love your new book. I love it enough that I wrote an endorsement for it. I wrote the foreword for it. It is Herald Reflections, and it is by Kim Gentry Meyer. This book, it is chocked full of artistic expressions. That's one of the things that I love about you, Kim. But with that seems to come this legal right. The enemy thinks that he has legal right to hijack all of that and afflict creative people with it's like a overburdening of the emotions. And if they are not cautious, careful, and led by the Spirit, it can get out of control. So you and we've never had that conversation, but I'm just telling you, it is not uncommon to see creatives who either have depression, anxiety, rejection issues. There's something that not only comes with that, like a curse and a blessing, but also the enemy just tries to hijack it, and so he'll draw a lot of those people into performing arts because there's applause there, because there's acceptance there, because there are those highs there, and they wind up shipwrecked. So one of the things I love about you is that you truly have a walk with the Lord, that you have relied on him through a journey that's really been, you've known the Lord a long time. So I want you to go back to, I'm going to ask you these two questions. Okay. When did you come to know the Lord? And then when did the depression start? Because those two things are often they either are closer together than we think, or you realize this happened as a result of just spiritual warfare against my calling or what have you. But what is the anatomy of that for you, the time? When did you come to know the Lord?
Yeah, no, thank you. That's a great preamble to all of this. And I definitely agree. Creatives are very sensitive and just feel things deeply. And I everything you said, I agree. But yeah, so as far as myself, I really don't remember a time I didn't know the Lord. I was raised into, a Christian home by Christian parents, deeply religious family, and always attended church. I think I accepted the Lord as a child and kind of just grew up in the faith. But I can also tell you, similarly, I have had depression since a child, since, almost as long as I can remember. I mean, I remember being maybe, 10, 12, that kind of thing. So kind of, kind of preteen,
Yes.
angst,
Yes.
but really kind of deeper. And so, I remember just really, really struggling, and I think the thing is, I was also very much a high achiever and active and in a lot of things, and so I'm kind of the last person anyone probably thought struggled with that,
Right.
But a lot of what I did was stay busy to get my mind off of it, and just to be productive. And as long as I was being productive, I didn't have to think about it. But it was those quiet times in my bedroom at night or whatever, where you start reflecting, and then that's kind of where it gets hard. So and that's kind of been a pattern throughout my life. I've struggled with quiet time and just chill time, because my mind's always going, because I'm always thinking of creative things. But it also is, I think, been kind of a buffer or a coping mechanism. So absolutely.
It sounds like we were sisters from another mister or something. I'm just amazing.
Totally.
To me. Okay. When we come back from the break, we've got more with Kim Gentry Meyer, so don't go anywhere. Be right back.
Some people don't yet realize that essential oils were put by God into our leaves, trees, flowers, and grasses on the third day of creation, all to promote health, provide prevention, and yes, even cures. Other people get that, but maybe they've never had any real success with one particular essential oil, which is why I create oil blends, giving you a better chance for a positive result with numerous health benefits. But there's one thing we all agree upon, and that is that essential oils smell good. They fill up a room with any mood that you need, anytime that you need it. We call it aromatherapy. But maybe you don't know the science behind why aromatherapy works. You see, we inhale through our nasal passages, and the nasal passages have direct access to the limbic brain, which is the emotional center of the brain. This means that scent is immediately tied to mood, but that's good news because you can change your mood by merely changing the aroma in your room. It's like therapy in a bottle. And that's why we call it aromatherapy. At Neuromatics Oil, we take the business of aromatherapy very seriously. We offer you a wide variety of options: candles, diffuser sets, nasal inhalers, even diffuser jewelry so that you can wear your essential oils all day long. Quiet Brain for natural relief from insomnia, anxiety, headache, and more. Happy Brain to lift mood and even help with appetite suppression and depression. And Sharp Brain to help with focus and cognitive memory issues. Naturally, the oil blends themselves, applied topically on the skin, are going to provide faster and more potent relief. But if you're looking for a way to enjoy our oil blends without using them on the skin, aromatherapy is for you. And Neuromatics Oil has you covered. Go to neuromaticsoil.com today, or use your phone and scan the QR code on your screen with your camera app, or call 1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET-BRAIN.
1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET-BRAIN.
Did you know that there are more than 600 Bible references to aromatic plants and essential oils? Did you know that once upon a time they were our only medicines? They're still medicine today. You see, God made plants and their essential oils to support your health. They're drug-free remedies that can be used from the comfort of your own home with little to no side effects. And although only 5% of natural products get patented, my oil blends, Quiet Brain, Happy Brain, and Sharp Brain, did, because third-party lab tests proved that they crossed the blood-brain barrier with potent relief for everything from migraines to memory loss, insomnia, anxiety, seizures, weight problems, even depression. So go to neuromaticsoil.com today to see my patented oil blends, and there are dozens of therapeutic products: healing lotions, bubble baths, nasal inhalers, even shampoo and conditioners, all created by our family for the health of yours. Go to neuromaticsoil.com or use your phone and camera app to scan the QR code on your screen, or call 1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET BRAIN.
Hey everybody, welcome back from the break. I'm Dr. Laura. We are here today with Kim Gentry Meyer. I've never had to use all of these titles to introduce somebody with, but she is author, she is artist, painter, musician. She plays instruments. She does so many different things. Musician doesn't even cover it, but she has put together in this beautiful book, Herald Reflections, devotions that you can go, and there are links. You can see pictures. You can listen to the music. It is your one-stop shop for such a beautiful experience and encounter with the Holy Spirit through so many different creative means. It was my joy, Kim, to write the foreword for this book because I'd never seen another book like it.
Well, you were very, very generous to do it.
Never seen another. Yeah.
Thank you. And your foreword is so beautiful. It meant so much to me, and it really has continued to be an encouragement to me. So thank you so much.
I'm in the body, mind, and spirit business. That's what I do. And so what brought you across my path was your writing, your artistry. You were, Mrs. Massachusetts. What was it, 2020?
Yeah.
You don't know this about me, I don't think, or did we talk about it on my show? But I competed in the Mrs. Tennessee America.
Yeah, we have that in common too. Yeah.
And so that immediately perked my attention. Like, that takes a special kind of woman, takes a special kind of wife. I loved that about you, that in the middle of everything you were working on, battling, overcoming, you still were leading this public life. You still chose to put yourself out there. Listen, there's public life and then there's pageants. Pageants that's like a whole new level of everything's great. I'm good. So it is my joy. I was so happy when you contacted me and said, I want to get healthier. You didn't come to me really for the depression. You came to me because you wanted to get healthy. You had a lupus diagnosis.
Yes.
And what happened was, kind of surprised us both, I had you fill out a health questionnaire. And when someone comes to me as a telehealth client, I have them fill out medical history form. You can go to thelifedoc.org and just find everything I'm about to tell you. But here's how it works. You go, you fill that out. And when you filled yours out and you booked your free 10-minute discovery call, and by the end of that, I know if I can help a person or not. And I knew I could help you. But then I started doing the research with your medical history form. You had 28 symptoms, things that were wrong with you. You were too young to feel that old. I was like, how are you smiling, much less
very difficult time.
Passion, a crown, and smiling and creating. I don't know how you're stringing two words together, much less creating everything you do. The Lord is on you, sister. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing is that we looked at those 28 symptoms, and I discovered, you told me a medicine that you were on, an antidepressant, and I found out that 24 of your 28 bodily problems were side effects of this antidepressant. That's when I prayed and I was like, Lord, I'm going to go to her and ask, let's give us some courage here and bravery and see if we can tackle this. And I, in your follow-up appointment, said, I think we need to go after your depression. That's the root. And I told you, thank God for antidepressants. I have friends that I know for a fact they helped save their lives. They were on the brink of suicide. But if you can treat an antidepressant more like a trampoline, less like a hammock, and springboard to get somewhere else, and not just lay in it, stay in it, that's when you see the best results. And so you said yes. And I want you to tell me, first of all, tell me exactly what that made you feel like, because there's somebody listening who's like, I could never let go of this. I could never get rid of this. Tell me what that was like.
Yeah. Well, and I was surprised when you suggested it, because it really wasn't something I had thought about. Because, typically when you work with your doctor, if it's working, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I totally get it. And I think some people, really would like to stay in that place. I think for me though, I just said, you know what, I'll try anything that you think will help. I just was to that point. where something needed to give. I had a lot of symptoms, and I had so much I was trying to do. And I've told you this, Laura, I'm just a person who I am very fearless and just like trying new things. Let's just try it. And when I do something, I do it all the way. So, I was like, when I'm in, I'm in. And I just was like, well, if it's terrible, then we can go back on, I can go back on. That's the thing I would tell everybody. I would encourage everybody, if you're thinking of trying a natural, alternative, yeah, you can try it. And so that's what I decided. We kind of talked through it, and you were so wonderful to explain it and help me kind of, step it out of how do I back off, and, and the way that we did it, I think was quite effective and safe, and it's fine. Yeah.
It was like an 8 to 10 week tapering process in which we lowered the level of the antidepressant, which I'm not going to name here because everybody's on something different and I don't want to cause any sparks, but lowered that, raised simultaneously brain nourishing supplements that replaced what these things do chemically. We woke up your brain. Like literally said, no, you don't get to be on strike. You have to supply Kim with these, these things that keep her mood steady, because so many people say they're on antidepressants and it's doing that, but they're numb.
I was so flattened, Laura. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'd cried in 2 years. It was because I remember us talking about that. It had flattened me so. And my doctor had just said, well, that's just the price you pay, and you should be glad that it's not, the symptoms aren't any worse. If that's what you have to live with, then that's fine. And I get it, and I mean, said, okay, but you said you don't have to accept that. And I said, you know what, you're right. I don't have to accept that. So that's kind of what led me to try this. And, I met with, I had a rheumatology appointment recently, and they go through your medical, what are you on and everything. And, she came to that name of that antidepressant. I said, no, I'm not on that anymore. And she's like, you're not? I said, no. I said, I've been working with a naturopathic doctor, and I've come up with a combination of natural alternatives that together mimic really exactly, without side effects, what I was on with an antidepressant. I said, I feel as good on it. I feel exactly the same as I did on an antidepressant, but I'm not having the mood flattening, and I'm not having some of the other symptoms. Do you know what she said, though? I was surprised because I thought I'd get pushed back. She said, Kim, that's great. She said, whatever, if it's working, do it. And so I was so encouraged. Yeah. That
the medical doctor.
I feel, because Laura, I feel like there's more of an listening currently, coming more and more.
I do.
With the national conversation that's kind of trickling into everyday life and the mainstream.
Chills, yes.
Me too. Where people are willing to hear this and to have a new listening for it. And so that a doctor, a medical doctor would say that to me really just blew me away. We had a conversation about it. Maybe it can help somebody else that she's seeing, it's all connected.
Oh yeah. I've done that before, where I have been in the position as a patient of a doctor to say, what if I tell you what I'm doing and it can help somebody else? And then they're listening like they never have before. Okay, guys, she told you earlier that she was like, okay, let's do it. I'm fearless. I just want to do all of it. She approaches her books the same way. She's like, let's not just do words. Let's do pictures. Oh, let's do music. Oh, let's that. This book is such a picture of you. It truly is. It has your heart and soul in it. You can buy it on Amazon. You can go to her website. You see the address there on your screen. And so when we come back from the break, we're going to talk more about her book. But also, I know some of you right now are like, I'm in. I'm all ears. I want a natural way out. Contact me at thelifedoc.org, or you can contact me at laura@thelifedoc.org. So when we come back from the break, we are going to speak directly to you and help you find the natural way out of depression. Be right back after the break.
So you're on our website trying to select your favorite products, or maybe put a gift package together for a friend. Well, we've done the work for you. Our Pause package encourages rest and contains 1 Quiet Brain Healing Lotion, therapeutic bubble bath, and a Quiet Brain 50-hour burn candle. Our Uplift package gives you a real mood boost with a Happy Brain candle, healing lotion, and bubble bath. The Self-Care package contains the Quiet Brain Healing Lotion, bubble bath, and healing shampoo and conditioner. Our Awaken package is made with our Sharp Brain blend and includes 1 nasal inhaler, 1 dropper bottle of oil, 1 bottle of healing lotion, and a Sharp Brain candle. The Sweet Dreams package is popular because it contains 1 dropper bottle of Quiet Brain oil, 1 satin sleep eye mask, and a copy of my best-selling book, Seeing the Voice of God, What God is Telling You Through Dreams and Visions. And don't forget our Quiet Brain gift box, our best value, with a sampling of almost all Quiet Brain products. 1 Whisper Quiet Night Light Diffuser, 1 dropper bottle of oil, a nasal inhaler, candle, shampoo and conditioner set, and even a satin sleep eye mask. But my personal favorite is our trio oil sets that allow you to sample all 3 of our patented Neuromatic oil blends while only paying for 2. They're available in dropper bottles, rollerball bottles, and our eyedropper pump bottle. Scan the QR code on your screen, go to neuromaticsoil.com, or call 1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET-BRAIN.
1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET-BRAIN.
Hey guys, I'm Laura. You're watching The Three. Welcome back. We're here today with Kim Gentry Meyer. You can see directly behind her the paintings. They are the book covers. She painted these pieces of art. She wrote the book. There's links to her music. This gal, she has such a heart. You know, some people have the heart, but they don't have the talent. I'm sorry, they make a joyful noise to the Lord, whatever, but and it's beautiful. But trust me, this woman is so multi-talented by the Lord and gifted by the Lord. And I'm just going to tell you, Kim, I believe that the enemy targets those whom the Lord is entrusted with so many gifts. Sometimes they don't even know how gifted they are. So first of all, you are fearless. This is proof to me that the Lord was in your life and empowering you to be brave, do whatever. But you stood out, you kept ministering for him. You are in prison ministry. There's so many things that you do, my goodness, giving back to people. But what I love about the story that you're telling is you came to me. We got to work on your with your health sheet. I looked at the 28 symptoms you had. 24 of them were a side effect of this antidepressant. We put you on natural supplements and at the same time tapered off of the antidepressants. You did contact your medical doctor. Like, this was all, I do it very, very responsibly, very slowly. And you did it. And at the end of it, at our follow-up visit, you not only said, and you said it previously, that you felt the same. You didn't feel like this lapse of, oh no, I'm not on my antidepressant.
Not at all.
You weren't numbed, and also your side effects went away and your body feels better. Tell us how you feel better physically being off the antidepressants.
Yeah. So part of what you did with me, I think that was so life-changing, that connected directly with this change of to natural supplements off of the antidepressant, was some diet changes, Laura. Because I really believe, like you say, mind, body, spirit, it all works together. And so I really committed to making some hard changes. I've really reduced my sugar greatly. I think that really, really helped. Really worked in conjunction with these supplements, because I wanted to give these supplements the best chance of working. I just wanted to create an environment where I had the best opportunity for success. And so I really changed my diet, low sugar. I got off of gluten, which I know that's not for everyone, but that was something you suggested trying. Laura,
I think it should be. I mean, it is.
Well, it's helped it has helped my
hard.
joint pain more than I can, because again, I was diagnosed with early stage lupus. So ton of inflammation, just a lot of pain, a lot of challenges with that. And, I literally, my reumatologist told me last week, I have no swelling in my joints right now. None.
Wow. And your blood, tell us about the blood panel.
Yeah, so I had, a kind of an update on all of my blood work, and I'm still waiting to get some of the results back, but everything that's come back so far is totally normal, which was very, very different from where I was a year ago.
God.
Yeah. So no gluten, no gluten regularly. I don't do gluten. I do very low sugar, and I also cut out dairy. And so those, and really focus just on a lot of, vegetables and lean, protein and fruits. And you actually gave me some diet, suggestions, some plans. You helped me put meal plans together. And I think all of that together really set me up for success. Also I try to do some light, weights and activity and obviously exercise, but it's been really life-changing, but it's really been a process. And I think that's what people have to remember when they start it is, work the steps and don't give up, because you won't see the change overnight, but my goodness, you'll see the change. You may be like, this isn't doing anything. I don't really think this is helping. But then, again, you'll be in my shoes, a year later and look back and think, oh, this has made a tremendous difference, and now I want to help others who maybe have been walking in the shadow path,
And that's why we're doing this. You've lost weight?
Yeah. Not even really, that was not the
was not your
objective
goal?
at all. No, I didn't have a goal to lose weight, but I have. I've lost like 15 pounds from it. Yeah. Or 10, I don't know, something. Yeah.
It's in like lip gloss. Okay. So it's a good thing, but I have found even when I'm traveling, I'm able to do it. In the amount of time we have left, and you're coming back for a part 2, right? Will you
Sure. I'd love to.
Come back next week. Tell us, there's chapter 2 in this book is about depression.
Yes.
Tell us what was in your heart.
Yeah. So I wrote, so the book is a devotional. It's a devotional book. It has 8 chapters, one for each of the songs on my Herald album, which is how we met originally. So my album came out in 23. And so each chapter is pretty short. It tells the story behind each song, Laura. So kind of that song story, what was in my heart, why I wrote it, why the Lord put it on my heart. And so I start each chapter with the painting. I did a painting for each song. So I start like for chapter 2, for instance, there it is. There's the painting.
Amazing.
Then there's the Mind of Christ, the song, lyrics, QR code to my YouTube playlist where you can listen to all the songs. And then a very brief devotion called The Reflection. And then I also do, we both got them. And then the anchor scriptures. I wanted to write out all the scriptures so people didn't have to stop, go get the Bible, because you lose some people that way. And they don't have the time, right? So boom, everything's there. It's a one-stop shop. And then some questions and a prayer. So I think this is great for group study, for individual study. But anyway, chapter 2 is Mind of Christ. And Mind of Christ is a song I wrote about really mental health and mental struggles, depression. And I wrote it kind of from a personal point of view. And I looked at it from the perspective of, how important it is to go to the Lord to renew your mind.
It is.
As soon as something's bothering you, if you take it to the Lord, and you really just renew your mind in Him, tell Him what's going on, don't wait, and you do that and you make that a spiritual practice, it really does make a difference. And so
it really does. And then things don't compound. And
yes, because that's where you start feeling darkness. Goodness, with it being Mental Health Awareness Month, I think it's extra special to be able to be talking about it. And
well, let's do this because we're out of time. But I want, when you come back next time, I do want to speak into that a little bit more. There are people really struggling and they need help, body, mind, and spirit. Girl, you're gonna lead them out. I know it. God connected us for a reason. All right.
Amen. I'm ready. I want to.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Reach out to me if you do need help. Laura at thelifedoc.org. I long to see you set free, body, mind, and spirit. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. I'm Dr. Laura. Bye-bye for now.